could swear it's been 700 degrees in here since you came in. I could swear that this room has been running out of air, and now it's starting to spin. You make me feel kind of bad, kind of...
Hi Floss Tube, it's Lisa here. I hope you're all well. Welcome back if you're an existing viewer, and hi if you're new and just found my channel. It's great to have you here with me right now, just while I go through my finishes, kind of reflect back on 2017 and then look to decide what I'm going to do in 2018. So yeah, it is, what day is it? Saturday the 30th of December, so it's almost New Year. So I thought I'd just take the time now to get this uploaded and to you guys. So Christmas was... it's fairly low key actually. It was just the family and I cooked. So we do a repeat of Christmas Day dinner on the Boxing Day as well. So we have Boxing Day in the UK, which is kind of, I don't know, I think there's some history behind it. I think, is it St. Stephen's Day it used to be called, and Boxing Day because I think he was a boxer and they used to go into the woods and fight. I think that's the history behind it and how it became known as Boxing Day. It's not because that's the day you flatten down all the boxes that you get all your gifts in for Christmas, which is what I was led to believe when I was younger. So yeah, so we did that. So I spent most of those 2 days cooking really and in the kitchen, which is fine. I don't do it a lot, so it's all right. So it's fairly low key, fairly relaxed, chilled out. We didn't do a lot, just ate and kind of vegged out really. So I didn't get to stitch for a couple of days. So by the time I got back on the 27th, I'd kind of missed it. The other thing I want to say, thank you for all your lovely comments about Poppy. You know, it was one of those things where it was quite difficult because I didn't know whether or not to share it and put that video up, to be honest. But I think because you'd been on the journey with me, with her, it just made sense to do it. So thank you for bearing with me while I bawled my eyes out on my upload. But yeah, I mean, things have started to calm down a bit. I mean, obviously we've had Christmas, so it was my first Christmas in many years without her, so I missed her massively. But Daisy's just been, oh, she's just an amazing little dog. She really has. You know, you never replace dogs you've lost by any stretch of the imagination. They're all very, very different, but Daisy's just been... she's just been a little sweetheart, to be honest, so I'm so glad I've had her. And towards the end of the video, I'll bring her up to say hi to you because you have not seen her for a while and she's growing. I mean, she's still really tiny and cute, but she's growing. So when I last left you at the end of November, there was 3 projects that I was looking to get finished by the end of the year. And I did it! So all in all, last year, and it's not great in terms of when you look, but I've been working on multiple projects, some of them are heaven and earth design, so they're big ass projects, you know, they're not just big projects, they're big ass projects, the full coverage pieces. So I've had a few of those going this year, so I've managed to kind of streamline down where I'm at with those. So yeah, so I've got some finishes to share with you, and then kind of my plans for 2018, because I'm hoping next year to get a few more finishes. So I'm going to stitch some smaller pieces next year as well as the large ones that I do. And it's not because I want to get loads of finishes, it's just that, I don't know, I think in terms of doing floss tube, I just think sometimes, yeah, it's nice to see how the larger projects are coming along, but, you know, I think sometimes having finishes is nice. Having said that, I've got 5 from this year sat in front of me. None of them are framed. However, I'm going to change that next week. So, yeah. So bear with me. So I'm just going to pick up my little board here and I'll show you kind of what I got done. So the first thing that was finished this year was my cappuccino, which is a Mill Hill kit. So it's one of the buttons and bead kits. So I got all that finished. I mean, that took about, what, a couple of weeks, not worked exclusively. So, oh God, my SD card is flashing at me. Bear with me. Sorry guys, I hadn't deleted off my previous video upload from last time, and the SD card on the screen was just flashing away, and I thought, you know what will happen here, I'm going to end up recording this and it's not going to actually take. So I've got my cross stitch app in front of me. Let me find out exactly when I started that cappuccino piece. So started on the 15th of February and finished on the 11th of March. So it didn't take that long to stitch, and it's really nice. So I'm going to have to do something with that. I have another one of those which I think I've shown you before, which I will show you again, to stitch up, and once I've done that I'll have like kind of a matching pair. My aim with these was to stitch quite a few of them and sort of frame them up and put them in my kitchen. So it still is in the back of my mind, because they've got quite a few. I mean, they've got like white wine, red wine, like olive oil, fruits and things like that. So I think, oh, you can see actually catching a bit of light maybe. So yeah, so that was one finish. The other one, let me find out when I started that for you as well. Was started July the 8th and finished September the 25th. And this was my Nevermore Prairie Schooler piece, which you've already seen, which is still sort of hanging around and not in a frame yet, which I need to get sorted out. So I just want simple black frame for this, I think. I mean, I was waiting to get a couple more of the Prairie Schoolers done before I frame them, so I could get matching frames really. So I still might do that and like have a big like framing frenzy as I've got more of them completed next year, possibly. I mean, it's not doing any harm sort of sitting in a project bag, keeping itself nice and clean. So that was the second finish of the year. I think out of the three that I was going to finish, I have a Heaven and Earth design. Now, if you're on the Heaven and Earth Design Facebook group, you'll have already seen this, but this is Simply Meant to Be by Cherie Gerhardt. As I said, it's a Heaven and Earth piece. I started this on the 27th of April and finished it on the 14th of December. So let me get it onto there. So this is all pressed, washed, and it will be in the framers. I'm going to have to back up to get it all in. This will be in the framers next week. I'm going to take this and have this officially framed, so I'm kind of standing up now to get all of this in. So yeah, it turned out a lot longer. Obviously I did this on 18 count Ada because I wanted it just to be that little bit bigger, but I'll come in a bit closer for you and you can have a look at that one. But yeah, the little dog's gorgeous, isn't it? I'll just scoot my way down. That's her and him. I mean, anybody who's ever stitched this will know how much confetti is in that skeleton. I mean, you can't really tell on this, but my goodness, and her face as well. I mean, there's so many different shades within that. But I'm so pleased with this. So as I said, this is washed, pressed, ready to go, because the top part of it where I was stitching it in the summer in the garden was absolutely missed my chair. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was nearly fun. Oh god, my heart's going. Yeah, it just got really grubby on the top there where I was stitching it outside. So despite having a grime guard on it and everything else, yeah, it still got absolutely filthy. My second finish in December was my Under the Sea cell. So if you remember back in, when was it now, September? Yeah, I got a little bit behind with this, so I'd finished pretty much the sea turtle. I had some back stitch to do. I'll probably put a picture in of where I was last time. So this was a whole year event, because obviously the blocks were released. It was my first ever working with a stitch along, so I got that completely finished. Let me back up so I can get it all in this year. As I said, it's not the design by any stretch of the imagination. Sorry, there's a lorry reversing outside, and it's got its like little beepy reverse things on, and it's not knocking them off. It's trying to deliver something somewhere. I think the driver's lost. Oh, he's blocked up some lorries. I wish you'd move away. Anyway, so this is the completed design. So I initialed it with my initials in there and the date. By the time I'd started putting the initials in, I mean, I didn't map it out or measure it out, and it kind of just about fit. It's not ideal, but I was over it by the time I'd finished it. I mean, the back stitching nearly killed me on it. But it looks okay, it looks good. I will get that framed up and put on the wall in here, in my craft space. And then finally, the last one to be finished. Again, this really needs a good iron because she's just sort of come more or less straight off the Q-snap and in, was Electra, which is one of the Nora Corbett designs. Started this on the 11th of October and finished her on the 27th of December. So there she is. You're not going to be able to see the beads on her, unfortunately. I don't think. They never look as good when you're showing them on the uploads by any stretch, but she's well blinged. I'm just trying to move her around, see if I can pick up any of the... I don't think I am, so I'll just keep her still before I make you seasick. But the only thing that's bothered me on this is in this bottom corner, and I don't even know if it'll show up, there's like a slub on the fabric, and it's going to show when I get her framed. Yeah, you can't really, you can see some of the beading on there, which has annoyed me a lot, to be honest, because there's always something, isn't there? So that fault on the fabric is, you're going to be able to see it, but oh, never mind, it's not the end of the world, is it? But that is her. I stitched the moon in the grapefruit Krennic, which is actually glow in the dark, and it does glow in the dark. It's really nice. So that's kind of half Krennic and half beading, and then obviously the beading through a dress. So she's really nice. I like her. The only issue I have, and I understand why they do this, I totally get it, with the Mirabilia and Nora Corbett pieces, is they don't do a PDF version. And my eyesight is not what it used to be 20 years ago, and I struggle massively with the patterns to see, so I have to scan them and then, you know, work off the iPad with it. But, you know, you can't get a whole pattern in, and then obviously there's the folds of the paper, and then when you scan that, it goes really light and blurry and you can't see it on the PDF. Oh, they're just a nuisance. So I would stitch more of them if they ever did a PDF. I get why they don't, it's for copyright reasons, and obviously people share PDF files. I get it, and they shouldn't. But oh my days, like, they drive me nuts. So I do have a new start. So I started this on the 27th of December. So I got a bit obsessed with Christmas. I got a bit obsessed with Halloween when it was Halloween, and I've got a bit obsessed with Christmas. So my plan is to have a few Christmas pieces framed and in my house over Christmas next year. You know, seeing all your lovely finishes and what you've been doing with your stuff. It was kind of the plan. So with me finishing the Story Keep version of my Heaven and Earth design, so my Simply Meant to Be, what I wanted to then introduce is a smaller, it's not really that small, but a smaller head Heaven and Earth design than the big piece I'm working on. So I'll put a picture of in what it is. So this is the Enchanted Christmas Ornament, and it's by Donna Glessinger, or Glessinger, depending on how you want to pronounce it. So I am stitching this 2/1 on 18 count Aida, and it's still on the Q snap, so you won't see a lot, just a whole load of green bits and pieces and branches starting to come through. So it's a couple of days, 3 days work on that. Needle minders I've just bought, they're from Denkai Design, so my little snowflake reindeer and my little Christmas tree, so some nice Christmassy bling on there. So yeah, I mean, I ordered 3 and shoved all 3 on, because why not? So I am on with that. I suppose in terms of fabric that I stitched the other designs on, I should have told you this in the first place. So the Story Keep Cherie Gerhardt Simply Meant to Be piece was stitched on 18 count Aida 2/1. My Electra Nora Corbett was stitched 2/1 on 32 count Permin linen in milk chocolate. And the Under the Sea Sal was stitched 2/1. I think this is 32 count flare fabric. Yeah, even weave, 32 count flare fabric, which was the recommended fabric because it's kind of mottled to look like you're under the sea. So yeah, I decided that I would stitch this on 18 count 2/1 again, which makes it bigger. The original design is a 9x9 and this will work out 12.5 by 12.5 inches, so a little bit bigger. But I kind of like stitching on the 18 count for the Heaven and Earth designs. It kind of gives my eyes a bit of a rest, really, my poor old eyes. So the plan is I want this finished by year end, framed and on my wall for Christmas and through the new year. So I'm working on that, and it will be, because that's my goal. That's the one thing that I'll have to push on through for this year. Now, where are we at? So there are some residual projects from this year. So my big Heaven and Earth design, and I'm sure you'll remember this, and I'm no further forward than I was last time I saw you, because obviously I was working to get the finishes done through December, and that is my Chris Ortega piece. It is Steam Heart, and this is where I am and where I was when you last saw her. So it's a bit scrolled up at the top because obviously it's on my Omnique quantum frame. So yeah, no further forward with her. She is stitched 1/1 on 25 count even weave. I think it's what is it? It's not. Is it Lagana? Yeah, Lagana. 25 count Lagana. So I do want to get some more of her finished this year. There's no rush with her. I don't feel as though I need to get it done. It would be good to get, I don't know, 2 or 3 more pages completed. It would be good to get like the rest of the top of her head in here and maybe some work over there, but you know, I don't have, but I'll get this sort of quadrant finished, you know, go back in and do this work, the background work here, maybe. You know, if I can get those 4 pages finished this year, I think I would be fairly happy with that, and obviously completing the other Heaven and Earth design. I would be pretty happy to get that done, to be honest. So that is that. And then you will remember a couple of pieces that I've had, and again I've done no more work on these, but I've got my Autumn at Hawker and Hollow piece, which I decided to stitch 1/1 on 40 count. This is like vintage mocha. Is it like it's vintage mocha, 40 count. I can't remember exactly what. And I'm stitching this in the MPI silks, as you remember. Now I'm no further forward with this than I was, but I would like to get the rest of that topper finished in January and then start planning to get the rest of the silks for the first block. So I want to get that done this month. I did enjoy working on that a lot. It's a really nice piece. I think obviously in hindsight, and I had this conversation with you last time, would I have stitched it in the MPI silks had I realised like kind of how many and the cost? I don't think so. I mean, they are nice. I mean, touching them there, they're so soft, but you know, they're going to go behind some glass when I frame it anyway, so does it really matter? I don't know. I mean, the colours are nice, don't get me wrong, but anyway, it's kind of done, I'm committed, and it's happening, so shut up. The other piece I was working on, if you remember, and I'm still, again, no further forward with it, but it is a primitive hair piece, and it's the All Sail and Broom Company, and I'm stitching this, is it Gentle Art Sampler threads? Yeah, it's gassed. Yeah, in Raven and Nutmeg. So I'd ordered the raven, the raven thread because I was starting to run out, and that is where I'd got to last time. So, you know, obviously this will get finished this year. This is stitched on 13 count Old Salem linen, which is specially hand dyed. I think this is definitely coffee tea dyed by the lady who has the primitive hair, so obviously you get the really mottled old effect. That looks really effective. So this is actually, as I've said before, going to be a whole lot bigger than I'd anticipated, but I do really like that. And then I want like a really old-fashioned frame to put it in when it's finished. So this is another ongoing project that I want finished this year. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to go some this year. And then the other one that I bought at the same time, which you've already seen, is the Spell Stall, which is by the Primitive Hair again. And this is just stitched into simple DMC, this one. So, and again, I've got another piece of that special Old Salem linen to go on that as well. So that's kind of where I was with the existing whips. So, you know, I want to work on the autumn at Ochre and Hollow as and when throughout the year. That will not be finished this next year. I mean, even if I was stitch a block a month, which I'm just not doing, it's like a sal then, isn't it? And I'm not doing another sal ever. I will do a sal, but just not within that year that it's meant to be done, because I'm just not having that hanging over my head again. That once was bad enough. I'm not a sal girl. I know that now. I've experienced it. I've done it. No more. So I've got those to work on. So yeah, as I was saying, the autumn at Ochre and Hollow, it will get done as and when. It's kind of no big deal. It's going to be really expensive to kit up with the MPIs anyway. So, you know, I'm kind of whatever kind of attitude with it. So some stuff that you've seen before that I'd like to work on this year. So I've got now some stuff you've seen that's sort of sitting in my stash, and then I've got some new stuff that I've bought. Now I know I'm, with all the best will in the world, I'm not going to get all of this lot done, but there's some smaller pieces within this that will give me more than 5 finishes for next year. I am sure of it. So the first one, now the other one just took me over a couple of weeks to stitch. I'll just hold it like that so you don't get the glare. It's a buttons and beads one, and it's a sugar skull. And I know I've shown you this before, but that's sort of sitting there, hovering, waiting to be stitched. And then the partner to my cappuccino, which is another buttons and beads piece, is the latte. So I want to get the latte done as well to go with my cappuccino. And I know I did say before that I'd looked at the Mill Hill frames, but I think for what they are and what you pay, I don't think they're really worth it. So I would buy some other frames for those, which is kind of why I want to get a few of them done before I go and decide what frames I want, because it's nice to have them all the same if they're sort of a set, well, in my mind anyway. The other one, sorry, is the Little House Needleworks Home of a Needleworker 2. Now I've started to kit this up now, so I had the fabric already, and I've started to order the, what is it stitched in? It's Classic Colourworks threads. So I've started to kit this up. I bought the threads from so-and-so, but a couple of them are still on back order, so I'm just waiting for another couple of colours. I think I'm waiting for bamboo and hickory sticks to come in. They're still on back order. They've been on back order for ages. I ordered those on the 8th of December, so I'm going to have to go on their website and just make sure that they're not fobbing me off and they haven't sent me them. So I've got that to do. I'd really like to do that one this year. I think it's lovely. I'd like it in my hallway, so when people come in, they know they're walking into the home of a needleworker. So I have that. And then, as you know, I've got a couple more of the Halloween projects, which I know I'm not going to get all of this done, but I would like to, you know, do a little bit. So I've got the Witching Hour by the Prairie Schooler. You can see that this is a newer chart because it's not on the nice card that the other ones are on. I've got Cats, Bats and Witches, which I've shown you already, but I do like that, so I'd like to have a good go at that. I've got one from the Plum Street Samplers, which is Toil and Trouble, which I've shown you before. Now that's done with specialty thread as well, so fancy floss for that required. I can't remember what it's stitched in now, but what does it say on there? No, it doesn't. I'm sure it's some sort of hand-dyed, could be Gentle Arts or Weeks or something like that. I don't know, but I've got that. I do really like that one. So that's a obviously William Shakespeare's from Macbeth. And then I have my Halloween at Hawker and Hollow piece, which, I mean, I might get started this year. I mean, I know that there's no way I would get that finished this year with all of the other stuff that I've got to do. So that was my residual stuff. So I think realistically, I mean, could I, yeah, I mean, I think had I left it at that, I could have got pretty much, not the Hawker and Hollows, but I could have got a Hawker and Hollow finished, plus the other stuff, I think, this year. Quite ambitious, wasn't it? Anyway, to say the least at that point. But we didn't just leave, I just didn't leave it there. So obviously there's been various sales on, and it'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? And then given my obsession with Christmas pieces, my newfound obsession with the CloudFactory again, you know, there was bits and pieces that I wanted to acquire. And these are some of the smaller ones as well, which I know I'll be able to get finished. So the first one isn't particularly small, but I saw her on So and So when I was ordering my threads for Home of the Needleworker, and she is another gorgeous girl. And if you remember, I finished one towards the back end of the last year, and this is Hush Little Bunny, and they've kind of revamped the designs for these, I think, but she's just so cute. And she comes with, it's a kit, it's a bothy thread, bothy designed kit, so she comes with all of the floss, which I think is Madeira thread, as I remember from last time, the Ada, and the Ada's like kind of hand dyed, so it has that effect. So the effect you see on the picture is the effect of the Ada as well, so it's got kind of a few pinks thrown in. It just looks nice. So I picked up her. There's another one that I'd like to start and get finished. She's super cute. She's really, really nice. And then I will need the use of my iPad because not all of the patterns have come again. Some of them are on back order. But I've become a little bit obsessed with some of the Christmassy ones and Country Cottage Needleworks. And I know there's quite a few of them. I'm going to open up my iPad again because the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't have all of the designs in front of me. So I've got some photos which I will put in as I do this, but I can't remember the name of the pieces. So bear with while I pull this up. I forgot about those. Sorry, I've got photos here. I've been looking at tattoos because I would like to get kind of a memorial tattoo for my little doggies that have passed away, so for Chloe and for Poppy, and I quite fancy one like on my wrist, and I don't really know what to get yet, or that wrist, don't know which. I mean, I wear my watch on that one, so probably that wrist, on my right wrist. And yeah, I haven't quite decided yet. And then I've seen one that you could get on your foot as well, which is really nice, and it sort of says you'll never walk alone on it with some paw prints, and I just thought, oh, that's really quite cute. So, but I have heard that your feet hurt, so whether or not it's under your foot or along the side of your foot, I don't know. So I'm not big on pain, but that sort of appealed as well. So I might get one on the wrist, see how I go with it, and then maybe maybe get another. So back to the cross stitching. So from Country Cottage Needleworks, on Country Cottage Needleworks, yeah, I have got Merry Christmas, My Dear. So I'll just get that in for you. So I'm desperate to start that. In fact, no, I can't, because it's got some fancy floss in it that I need to order. So I'm really keen to get that started. So I've got that. And then on the So and So website, there was the spotted linen, and this is 32 counts Belfast linen. I've got it down here in front of me. It's raw linen with polka dots on it. The one that's on the design isn't this one, but it was stitched in, the model stitch. I have a feeling it might be lighter, so what I'll have to do is just check that this isn't going to be too dark, because obviously there's browns in here with the deers, and I don't want to lose the deers. So once I've got all the fancy floss ordered and put the DMC on it, I'll just do like a floss toss and just check that it's going to stand out. But I kind of like that because of like the little snowflake element. It looks like the snowfall. But we'll see whether or not that's going to be suitable. Another one that I got is the Snowmen Trio, and this is like a little small one, and I got that. Now that was stitched and finished by our very own Vonna. So from the Twisted Stitcher, isn't she? So that's really sweet. I mean, these are like really nicely finished. They'll probably go in frames for me, because I just don't know whether or not I could do anything like that, to be fair. But we'll see. I mean, you never know, because these are going to be stitched throughout the year and then sort of finished for Christmas. So, you know, I might get creative. So I'm going to insert pictures, photos of the other ones that I've got. So the first one is the Snowflake Serenade. And yeah, that's probably one of the largest ones out of the ones that I got. I got Snow Love, which I'll put a picture in for you as well. And I also got Snowy Reindeer Chart, which again is another small one. So that's them. So those other three are on back order at the minute. So they were at a good price as well. I think there was a couple of pounds off each of those. So I thought, well, you know, kind of why not? It would be rude not to. So the plan is, and this is like an absolute, it's happening. I want all 5 of those stitched for Christmas next year and framed and kind of displayed around the house. So with that and the Heaven and Earth Christmas ornament piece, like they are the ones that have to be done this year. Like there's no negotiation on that for me. So they're the Christmas finishes for next year that I want sort of framed, displayed in the house. Then I had a look. Now it is a sal, but it's not a sal, if you get what I mean, because I'm not doing it in that way. So there's like a Jane Austen type thing going on. Bear with me, I'm going to stop this because it'll stop recording at 29 minutes. So bear with me. Sorry, gone on a little bit longer than I thought I would. So yeah, it just cuts out, and I know I'll still be jabbering away and it won't be there. Bear with me while I find these images. So I'm going to put them in, insert them for you. So as I was saying, there's a Jane Austen Stitch Along. I read a lot of the Jane Austen books, and while I did my kind of GCSEs and A-levels here in the UK. So I'm not going to go back and read the books again, but I did think that I might stitch a couple of associated designs, and I went on Sampler Girl and found some really quite cute quotes that have come from some of the various books, which I won't go into, but I will as I start stitching them. And I just thought, oh, do you know what? A couple of those sort of they're really simple, they're quick designs as well. You know, I can bust out one of those in a couple of nights, really, in relation to what I do. And I just thought, you know, it'll add to kind of the finish element for 2018. So I'll put in the pictures of these for you, but some of them are super cute. So I've got them in front of me. I'm going to put them in for you now. So this one, and my hair was at least tidy, which was all my ambition. That's just cute, isn't it? And my hair was at least tidy, which was all my ambition. Yeah, I just really, really like that one. And I mean, I know for me, quite a lot of the time, especially weekends, my hair is not tidy. So I don't have any ambition then, clearly. Because, yeah, it just isn't. Because I have to have it tidy for work. I love this one. Eleanor went to her room where she was free to think and be wretched. How cool is that? I just love it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, who doesn't like a good sulk and you know, a few silent moments to be wretched alone. So I really like that one. The next one is, again, it's Jane Austen, and it's a Louisa May Alcott quote as well, and this is the lady who wrote The Little Women. So, I declare after all there is no enjoyment like reading. So that's obviously Jane Austen's take on it. And then below you've got Louisa May Alcott. She's too forward. She's too fond of books, and it has turned her brain. Again, that's another great one. And then the final one that I got is, what dreadful hot weather we have. It keeps one in a continual state of inelegance. Yeah, that's pretty much me in the summer. So if I ever go on a summer holiday and I'm on the beach, that is totally me. It's not cool. And I'm certainly not cool. And then finally, I ordered 3 CloudFactory designs just to kind of complete and finish off the set for 2018. So I ordered, like, because I needed more, didn't I? But these were on discount, so there was another sale. And I started the big Harry Potter sampler. And I didn't like the fabric I was stitching on. A lot of the characters and the motifs weren't really standing out. So I do want to do that one, and I must look at perhaps buying a different colour fabric to try and get everything to stand out on it. But I ordered the Harry Potter Marauders map. I love this. I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. I love that. So I've got that. I got a Super Mario extended version because I love Nintendo games. So in my past, I was quite not a serious gamer, but I really enjoyed gaming. And I still have a Wii, Xbox, oh, what else is there? Quite a few different things. All I'm waiting for is for Nintendo to release a virtual reality version, and I'm getting it. I'll be so all over that. So, as they didn't, and we're still on Nintendo Switch, which is just, I don't want that. I don't want to pick up the little pieces and take them with me. I don't game on the move. I want to be fully immersed into Sonic. I mean, they're my favourite characters. I mean, I know that Sony have brought the VR out on the Xbox and stuff, but it's not the games I like. I like the cartoony games. I like Sonic. I like Mario. I like, what else is it? Zelda. So as soon as they have a virtual reality version of that, I'm getting it. So I got a little needle minder from Denkai Designs, which is one of the little one-up mushrooms. It's not focusing. See him? There he is. A little one-up mushroom. So he's going to go on the Sonic piece while I stitch that. He is so cute. And while it's focusing, Denkai also sent this little fairy out as a freebie as well. So I got those plus my Christmas tree, reindeer and snowflake, which will be distributed around my Christmas pieces. So I got that, and then finally, because I had to, because it's got little King Charleses on it, I got the Lady and the Tramp CloudFactory piece as well, because it's got a bigger King Charles and a little one, so I've got my Poppy and my Daisy on there as well. So so that is it. That is all my stash acquisitions and projects, finishes for 17 and plans for 18. In terms of plans, whatever, I've got that much to go at. I'm going to have a crap ton of fun with it all and just kind of make up as I go. The only, as I said, definite in it are the Christmas pieces and the Heaven and Earth Christmas piece. The rest of it, whatever, I'm just going to enjoy it, do some smaller things so I can get some more finishes rather than the 5 I got, although I'm pleased with the 5. I mean, one of those obviously is a Heaven and Earth design, so who wouldn't be pleased to get one of those finished? But yeah, I just want to, just, really enjoy it. I don't want to put any sort of, prerequisites apart from the Christmas ones on myself, because it is a hobby and it's supposed to be fun at the end of the day, isn't it? And I just want to keep it like that. So I'm just going to go with it, stitch what I feel when I feel like it, and continue to make floss tube videos for you. So hopefully more regular. We'll see how I go. If I stitch some of the smaller ones and I find I'm finishing up things more quickly, I may do them, every couple of weeks instead of monthly. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to put myself under any pressure with that either. It is what it is. I love watching you guys, and I have my favourite floss tubers where every time a video pops up, I watch it immediately. So I know what it's like. So yeah, I've lost my train of thought now. So yeah, I know what it's like when you enjoy watching people. So I do want to keep things moving a little bit more regularly for those who enjoy my videos as well. So yeah, I'm going to go and get Daisy for you, and you can say hi to Daisy, and then I'll be signing off, I think, for the year. So bear with me while I go and get Daisy for you, and I'll see you in a minute. There she is, complete with her little Santa hat on, because every little good doggy has to have a Santa hat. Poor Daisy. Poor Daisy with her Santa hat. Aren't you? So this little girl's been such a good girl, haven't you? You have. You've been such a good girl, Daisy. So she will be 1 year old on the 6th of January. So soon be your birthday, won't it? It will. It'll soon be your birthday. Yeah. So she's ever so cute, isn't she? You've been a good girl at Christmas, haven't you? So she had a really exciting Christmas. So she was exhausted actually on Christmas Day, because obviously my parents were here, and she got presents, and yeah, just a whole load of excitement. So by 7-8 o'clock on the night, she was just absolutely done for. And Boxing Day again, as I said, was the same. So there was loads of excitement, loads of new stuff, wasn't there? You got toys, didn't you? She got a brand new bed, jumper, and obviously she had to have a Santa hat, didn't you? So she did quite well, didn't you? You got quite spoiled. So yeah, this is my little Daisy. Not quite so little now, as she's certainly growing up. So almost 1. So next time I see you, she'll have had her first birthday, won't you? Yes. So yeah, I'm going to wish you all a lovely new year, and I hope 2018 brings you everything that you want. I'd like to win the lottery, so I could stitch all day. Not entirely sure that's going to happen, but I have all the best intentions of doing it, so we'll see. So yeah, I hope you have a fantastic year. I'm hoping for a much better year next year. Number 8 is my favourite number, so I'm hoping the fact that the year has the number 8 in it will bring me some good luck at least this year. Something a little bit better, I'm hoping. I'm going to a stitching retreat, the first ever stitching retreat I've been to at the end of January. So that's up in Scotland. That's been well organised by Donna Murray, also known as Stitching Donna. So I'm looking forward to going up there and meeting some kindred spirits, because it's been a long time since I've been in the company of anybody who who stitches or enjoys it in the way that us guys do. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I will probably do a video while I'm there, kind of so you can see a bit of a vlog while I'm up at the stitching retreat maybe. So I will try and get back before then, so kind of the mid quarter, last 2-3, yeah, kind of the weekend before I go, with an update in terms of where I've got to with this lot. Maybe, we'll see. And yeah, and I will let you know how the retreat goes, I'm sure. So as I was saying, have a lovely new year, and I will see you on the other side in 2018. So take care, guys. Much love. See you. Bye.